I need an intro, don't I? Yeah, you do. What do you do when your skill level isn't good enough to get what you want? Well, we'll talk about that after the intro. Cue the intro, Joe. Welcome to my crowded head. Come on in. I found out that my current place is way behind my desired place. I have this great idea for an episode. Well, I think it's a great idea. But my current skill level in many areas hold me back. I don't want to spoil it, but I spent 3 days and got nowhere. It's really not that complicated. It just requires a well thought out ideal. It it needs a good script and a really good editing and more time than it was just more time than I had, really, from the time I thought of it to the time I want to produce the episode. It gets frustrating sometimes, but when you want to do something but you don't have the skill to accomplish what you want. Like, it's easy to just say to hell with it. I could always be the I could have been guy, had it. But I don't want to be that. I think most people have the need to improve. I mean, if we didn't, people would still be living in caves. Like last episode, I finally put out the YouTube version. Shameless plug. I have some things that just don't fit into an audio only format. They'd be confusing or even boring in audio only. Kind of like this episode so far. The video part needs just more than the audio. Like podcasts in general are a background activity. Like you can listen to them while you're working or exercising or driving around, right? Video is more of an active thing, and I guess that's because there's more senses involved. Audio just needs a good story, well, much better than this one, or a good conversation. Uh, but I really like the challenge of doing both. The big issue is that not all subjects like make sense as just a podcast. See, with podcasts, you really just need good audio. But I've filmed them because they're actually easier to edit because you can give yourself verbal cue or visual cues that you can't pick up in just an audio only. The first 3 episodes I basically did just a thought and just went from there. Just the issue with that is they're really hard to edit. Like I repeat myself way too many times and the tangents can be long if anyone's actually talked to me live. Um, I like to say that editing Joe is not speaking Joe's friend. I moved to a more scripted version for the last couple, and the problem with that is that I look really awkward on video. A close friend of me said that I looked so awkward that it was painful to watch. Things I need to improve on for both things to work to be more comfortable on camera, saying what I want to say and staying on topic, which has always been hard for me. And that way it would make the editing so much easier so I'd have extra time to give the video more like texture, more to make it more visually appealing, while still making the audio compelling enough to listen to that as well. The only way to do that is to get much better at everything. And for that, I just need to do them all more. I need to work on the writing. So the thought is, because that's the most important. I have to have the thought worked out so it makes sense to listen to it. And I'm also working on the filming and the editing of it so I make it interesting to watch. I even this weekend, while we were making ceviche, well, I wasn't really making it. I was just kind of watching. I took videos of it to see if I can edit it into something that's like neat to watch. And I'll include that footage on the YouTube version if you're interested in that. I guess my point, which I'm burying, is that things take time to learn. It's important to give yourself that time and focus on the improving from where you are. I mean, anything that you're doing now, look at where you started and how far you've come. If you're not happy with where you are, realize that's part of it. Enjoy the struggle and celebrate going back into that struggle each day. If you're happy with where you are, find something you struggle in and improve that. We spend a lot of time sheltering ourselves from unpleasantness that happens. And growth is important to our careers and our families and our people. Because remember, we want to get out of whatever self-imposed cave we're in. It's also important to have deadlines to force you to do it. That's why 30-day challenges are so popular. They're short enough to see an end at the light of the tunnel, but long enough to have enough struggle in them. You don't want to be a perfectionist. You just want to be good. Make it as good as possible in the time you have, because you can always go back and improve it later. You can improve it the next time. I'm trying to get into a learn it, apply it improvement cycle. I want to learn something that will help me and then try it that same day or even in that week. Daily learning and using it makes you better. Because knowledge isn't power, applied knowledge is power. You have to be able to apply it to what you're doing. But think about how much better that would make you in, say, your career. If every time you turned in a project, it was just a bit better than the last project. It's a human need to improve. I'm trying to get out of my cave and find more interesting things to do to work on my craft. Making a better, more interesting show makes it much more enjoyable for you as well as for me making it. So this week, go out, something you've always wanted to learn it and apply it. If it's guitar lessons or things like that, give it a try. See how it works. And just try to get better from where you're at. So as always, I appreciate you checking in this week. And if you're into following or subscribing, please do that. It helps the show. Would love to hear your comments. There's a link in the audio version to leave a voice message if you like. On the video version, of course, just put something down in the comments. I've always wanted to do that point down thing. It does help. But if you have any advice on improving, that would be great. And have a great rest of your week, and hope to see you in the next one.